Candidates, abortion has become one of the big issues in federal politics since last year. So I want to ask you both to clarify your positions. Mr. Leonard, I'll start with you. Ever since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, Congress has been debating whether there should be a right to abortion and a ban on abortion. And in the meantime, some states are taking their own steps to ban the procedure. Do you think states should be allowed to ban abortion under federal law, or do you think Congress should require that abortion be legal nationwide up to a certain point?
States have the right to do what states do. What I won't do is support a national abortion ban. It's already been codified in Rhode Island law. I'm going to D.C. to protect Rhode Island values and Rhode Island laws, period.
So, but you think states should have the right to ban it if they choose to do so?
I believe right now, when the Roe v. Wade was overturned, I don't even believe it, it was turned back to states. The states have that right, they have that authority. One of the reasons I'm running for office is not only to fight the extreme politicalization and the extremism in our government, is to keep the federal government out of every part of our life. And we have an overreaching federal government right now, and we know how to lead our lives better than that. We don't need politicians and bureaucrats in every component of our life.
Mr. Amo, some Republicans have argued Democrats are the ones taking an extremist position today on abortion. So a simple question for you. Do you think there should be any legal limits on abortion in the United States?
This is a medical decision, Ted. There is no lawmaker or aspiring lawmaker in my case who should be in the room with the woman and her doctor during the most difficult decisions. Full stop. Instead, though, we have a Speaker of the House now who is one of the people who crafted the legal arguments in Dobbs. That is who my opponent will empower in Congress. So it is great to put forward the values of independence and freedom, but we have to live them. And it's critically important that someone who's going to Congress supports the Women's Health Protection Act that codifies Roe at the state level and at the federal level, rather, so that it is not the case that a young woman in Texas has to skip 3 states in order to get a medical procedure. That's not in our value system as Americans. We need to make sure that we protect reproductive freedom and we keep our politics out of those most difficult circumstances.
So you don't believe there should be any legal limits on abortion?
I don't believe that the question is not around where the limits are. It's about, frankly, who gets to be in the room for those decisions. And I am saying, and I want to be very clear, that lawmakers should not be in the room for those medical decisions. That's where it gets into the ping pong of the politics of the when and the how and the who. That's not the value. The value is making sure reproductive freedom stands paramount in this discussion.